Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're looking at the Iflight Chimera 4. It's Iflight's entry into the 4-inch micro long range class. Mine has a Caddx Rotel 2 micro cam in there, but it ships with a Caddx EOS 2 that I swapped. It does come with Iflight's Sussex E mini flight controller. It's an F4 with a 35 amp 4-in-1 ESC, the Sussex Force VTX that's power switchable from 25 milliwatt on up to 800 milliwatt. It is rocking a GPS. Mine was a plug-and-play version. I added the Crossfire Nano receiver with the Immortal T. Let's see what's in the box. All right, you've got a detailed instructions. That's always nice to see. It does come with a micro USB cable. Looks like some antenna tubes. I guess if you wanted to run an XM Plus, some spare bolts, 4 battery straps, depending on what size battery you're running, some stickers. Does come with the receiver connectors. That's really nice. Just solder that up to your receiver and plug it in on the flight controller. An additional set of the Nazgul 4030 props. More stickers. And looks like a how to set up your GPS in the box. As I mentioned earlier, it does include a Caddx EOS 2 camera. It's a 1200 TV line nano size camera that they have included a micro mount so it will fit the frame. I did swap this one out. I believe this one is a 16:9 version for some reason. If you fly analog, most of us fly 4.3, so I don't know why they didn't include the 16:9 version. So I did swap mine out for the Rotel 2. It's also a 1200 TV line camera. This is a micro camera, so I ditched the adapter there and it bolts right up. This is going to be heavier than the nano size EOS 2. But I mean, the image quality is going to be much better. They're pretty much the best of the best when it comes to analog in 2021. And I feel like it was a good pairing here with the Chimera because you're going to be looking through the goggles for a long period of time with these long flight times and long range. So you want the best image quality possible there. Now, many of you may be wondering why I didn't go with the DJI version. I don't fly DJI. I do still fly analog as well as Fat Shark's SharkBite digital system there. If you follow my previous videos, I have mentioned something about building a Flywood Explorer build, but I believe I've since scrapped that as I picked this one up on RDQ's clearance sale. So I really don't have a need for another 4-inch micro long range. So I just went ahead. I'm going to use those parts for another build there. I'll probably sell the frame there. So if you're interested in the frame, let me know. It will probably be for sale shortly. We could work something out there. So, but let's go over this quad, guys, and see what it does have to offer. So as I mentioned earlier, this one does have the 3000 kV motors. They do have a 3700 kV. So it's going to give you a little bit more pop, a little bit power, but with it's going to reduce your flight times. So if you're looking to go out further, get a longer flight time, you may want to go with the 3000 kV. Now, I believe the Flywood Explorer is 2700 kV, if I'm not mistaken. So, and that build is going to be a little bit lighter there. So the difference between the Explorer, besides the motors, KV, It's also rocking 1404s. The initial Explorer, I believe, shipped with a 450 milliwatt VTX. This is actually 800 milliwatts. And I had no issues there with this VTX. So that is definitely a plus. If you're going to go long range, you want the maximum output possible. So what else do we have? It is an F4 processor there. There are plenty of open UARTs. Now, obviously, this one isn't DJI. They had to use soft serial on the Flywoo to get the GPS working. If you got the DJI version of this, that it's going to be a hard UART. So you're not going to get that OSD issue that many have been seeing there with the Flywoo Explorer. It does have a 35 amp ESC. I believe the Explorer's is going to be just a 13 amp because it's a 16 by 16 layout there. So more amps are there when you need them. I don't think you'll be pulling too many amps here with these bi-blades. Just cruising around. I mean, I'm cruising around about 35 miles an hour. So the GPS, this is my first quad with GPS. It did get a lock really quickly. I had no problems. I think at one point I had 17 satellites. Once it gets a lock, the initial flight, it picks up the rest of the satellites very quickly there. Bardwell mentioned in his video to drop it down to 5 satellites for GPS rescue. I did drop mine down, but in my case, I probably wouldn't have to. GPS rescue is not able by default, and I did not enable mine. I have mine on a switch, and as you can see in the video, it worked quite well. I am running Crossfire, which I pretty much run on everything, but this being a long range, definitely recommend Crossfire. I mean, if you are an FR Sky person still at this point, I mean, the R9 may be an option for you, but I would pretty much recommend Crossfire on this build. As you can see, the Ratel V2 is beautiful. They did use the DJI camera lens. So it's a little bit less distorted, a little bit wider field of view than the Ratel 1. I was going to do a video exclusively on that, but as I've heard, camera videos don't get a lot of views and feedback. But anyway, I swapped this one out. Been nothing but pleased. You will notice there is a speck of the legendary Ratel dust on this one. I haven't pulled it apart to clean the lens on this one yet, or the sensor, I'm sorry. I did order the black version of this camera, and they sent me the red body. I reached out to Cadex. They were pretty cool about it, and they sent me out a black body. But I don't know if I want to swap the body over there. So when I go to clean the sensor, I may just go ahead and pull it apart and swap it to the black body there. But it's not a big deal there, but it would look a little bit nicer there on the build. It does come with a battery pad here. It's not the grip style, but it's grippy enough with the battery straps that they include. I mean, it's not a problem with the battery sliding around. You're not really going to be doing anything crazy, or I wasn't at least. You can freestyle this. So if you only have, this quad or, not very many quads and you want something to freestyle, it is a good platform. I have seen that other people have just bought this frame just to do a 4-inch freestyle build. It does have 4mm arms, and they are chamfered. You see all the nice TPU parts. So, I mean, you could build a freestyle rig on this one if you wanted to. Now, obviously, you'd go with a little bit higher KV motors, maybe even a bigger, well, I don't know about a bigger motor, but it is a good platform. There's plenty of room there under the hood. It does have a capacitor, as you see. It has this little 3D printed TPU tray for the receiver. You run down there, and then the Immortal T-mount there along with the GPS. It does have Iflight's Albatross long-range antenna. So, you know, the antenna doesn't really dip below, you know, your line of sight there. So you're always getting that best signal for you. It does have an onboard buzzer, but this one is not powered by a battery there, unfortunately, like the Explorer there. So if your battery does become ejected, you know, the buzzer's not going to work for you there, but it is loud if you need it. So if the battery's connected, you can. You may want to swap this over to like a Iflight, or I think JHE MCU makes a buzzer that's comparable there with its own dedicated LiPo battery there that charges with it. I did fly this on a few different packs. All right, let's get some weights for you guys. Looks like with the Ratel 2, it's coming in at 166. This Talon 654S, 68 grams. The Tattoo 854S, 91 grams. And this All-Line 2000 4S lithium ion pack with the adapter. Looks like it's coming in right under 199 grams, about 200 grams. So the quad with the 650, it's coming in at 234. With the 850, 257. With the lithium ion pack, 365. I did design a Insta360 Go TPU mount. I'll put the link in the description there. Check it out on Thingiverse. I do have a link there if you want to leave a tip. You definitely can if you appreciate the work. It's completely optional. Just something I do to give back to you guys there. I did not find a mount previously, so I whipped one up there in Fusion 360 there for us.
Break down my walls, you know you got me standing so tall. With your love, ain't gonna fall, because you see me right through it all. With your love.
takeaways to note, guys. This quad did come up with Betaflight set up for angle mode to be running at all times there. So I don't know if they had this set up for a beginner, but most of us who are going to fly long range or mid-range are going to fly an acro. So don't know why that was set up. Go ahead and check your modes tab there. Make sure you disable that if you need to. Also, like I said, GPS rescue was not set up. Barbell has a good video on that. You can check that out. And a lot of people with the Vista on these micro long range have been getting issues with GPS. I'm going to say it's due to the Vista. They do offer, I believe it's copper wiring covers to cover the GPS signal wires there to insulate it from the Vista, because I guess it intermits RF interference there that's causing people not to get a lock. I had no problems with analog getting a lock. It was actually very impressive. I've seen horror stories of, GPS just not getting locks at all. But this one picked up satellites very quickly. And I got multitudes of satellites. I got like 17 at one point. So after getting the GPS rescue set up, it worked flawlessly there. So you can check the footage there. I did shoot some on the Insta360 Go, as well as I have some DVR there from the goggles. But when you engage the GPS rescue, the way it's set, basically the quad will fly to a certain altitude. This is maximum altitude. And then it's going to go ahead and turn around. I assume it puts itself in angle mode or stability mode, and it will fly just towards your home point. So you'll want to add a home point, a directional arrow there for your home point, and then a distance for your home point. And then there's also a total distance traveled, but the home point direction and the home point distance are something you definitely want to add on there. I know a lot of newbies have every single OSD element. I'm not going to go that far. You always want to go with your link quality, your LQ if you're running Crossfire, long range. Now, if you're short range with Crossfire, you don't have to really worry about that, because let's be honest, unless you're in a high RF area, you're probably not going to get fail safes. So, but on a long range quad, you definitely want to set that up. But you want to set the home point, set the directional arrow there, and like I said, it will pretty much come back to where you're at. Now, I launched mine right in front of my house. So if you've ever flown any GPS quads like a Mavic or another GPS position holding quad, if you do hit return to home, it's going to hover like, pretty high up. So you may not be able to see, the actual home point, because you're going to be up so high if you're near a house. So just kind of keep that in mind there when you're launching it. You can take control pretty much at any time there when you do have the GPS on a switch enabled there. So once it gets, within your video comes back, or you get control of the quad there, you can go ahead and, it'll be your video if you're enabling it, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to enable it. But you can set it to fail safe. I did not. I set it on a switch, and like I said, it worked flawlessly there for me. So if you are looking at something in the micro long range category, it's definitely a win for me. I haven't flown any of the other ones there. I do kind of have my eyes on the Dave C Mini long range. That's from Recon FPV there. It's a partnership with Dave C and HDLRC. So it's going to give you a little bit more power there. It's a 5-inch build there. But, for me, this is going to do everything I want. Hopefully we're going to be going up to Gatlinburg here in Tennessee in the mountains. Maybe I'll be able to get some mountain dives some forest footage there, maybe some bears or something of that nature there, but this may be my go-to for that. But I want to thank you again, guys, for tuning in. If you're not subscribed already, please do so. Give this video a thumbs up, like, comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And we'll catch you in the next one.